welcome to episode 110 of the Road to Glory here with FC United of Manchester. Hopefully you guys are good. It's been a long time since I've played this save, but I'm buzzing to get into this. Since the last episode, I have played a handful of games. I played some last night. I was away on holiday. Mentioned it a few times already in videos, but I was away in France. Got back last night, played a bit of the FC United of Manchester save. 5 wins in 5 games. All games you'd expect us to win. 1-0 against West Ham in the first game here. We dominated possession. We dominated the play. Standard win for us. Followed this up with a 3-0 win at home against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League group stage. We're in Group D along with Atletico Madrid, Panathinaikos and Lyon. It's not the easiest group, but you'd still probably expect us to win. But we had a tough game. We did have this tough game against Atletico Madrid and we won 3-0. Playing against a few former players, you may notice one here. Former FC United of Manchester all-star Bocao, still tearing it up now in Spain. I miss this guy. I do miss him, but he's a good player. Probably not a £41 million player, it would have to be said. But he has done a job for Atletico Madrid. So Maybe I did do quite well to cash in on Bocao when I did, and I find it funny that he went to kind of Atletico Madrid wanting to go to a bigger club, and then we go and beat them 3-0 just 3 years later. So that was a nice little result for us. And then 3 more results. Scoring 10 goals in 2 games in the Premier League, getting a 5-1 win away against Leicester. We actually scored all the goals. João Jose getting an own goal for them. But good to see 5 different scorers of goals. Lee Wright, the young English lad, getting his first goal for the club as well. So that was good to see him get a goal. He's actually the club's highest earner, which I didn't realise. And it's one of these things where I've come back from my holiday and realised, hang on a minute, this guy's on a lot of money. But he's doing okay off the bench at the moment, and his wages aren't too terrible. They're not massive, I should say. Anyway, 3-0 win then against Derby County in the League Cup. A result you'd expect us to get, and we did it well. Alfredo Senior, the legend, getting the goals for us. Still not made a Spanish first-team appearance. I hope he gets one before the end of his career. Every so often he kind of gets linked with one based off his form, and I believe it's only a matter of time before he maybe gets one. He's going to do a bit of a Ricky Lambert, I think, and appear late. And Nazarov grabbing the other goal for us in the 3-0 win against Derby. So that was a good away result, and we followed this up with a final result in this kind of little sequence, winning 5-1 at home against Reading. João Jose getting 2, Alfredo Senior getting 2 and Peyrard getting 1. A game which we dominated from start to finish. A little bit concerning and a little bit disappointing, I guess, that we did concede 2, but nevertheless 5-2 was a great result. Today I'm going to be covering 4 games. It's going to kind of be a mini live com. The reason for this being is that I promised you guys on yesterday's video, if it got 75 likes in one day, that I would do a longer video. So going to just do the 4 games in a little live com. 2 Champions League games, 2 Premier League games. It should be a bit of a laugh. If you missed yesterday's video, I talked about the FM14 features that had been announced while I'd been away, and just talked about them in detail, like the big ones. And I also kick-started my daily series where every day I will be reviewing the kind of announced features for the day, during the day, kind of in the evening, night time. So that's a video you can expect up fairly late most days. My aim is to do it daily, but you never know with these things. So you can expect one of those videos later on tonight. So keep an eye out for that in your sub boxes. Today we are playing at Lyon away. I am playing with the speed hack on with Cheat Engine, but I'm going to turn down the in-game speed, so hopefully that kind of cancels itself out. We should be okay with these speeds. You will notice the commentary at the bottom flashes a lot and the insistent instructions vanish fairly quick. If you don't know about the Cheat Engine kind of trick by now, I did a video on it. Go and search on my channel how to run FM quicker. It's basically a third-party application you can use which boosts the processing power and kind of removes the speed cap off FM and allows you to run it faster. So I've got this on ×4 speed, and then I have the highlight speeds turned down so it's at normal speed. And wow, the Alfredo brothers linking up there. They're not actually brothers, they're just both happen to be Spanish and called Alfredo, linking up there, crossing, Junior, the centre-back, getting the header there. Great little start for us, 21 minutes in, 1-0 up. Hopefully you guys can see the ball okay as well. I've got the Brighter Ball mod installed. I mean, whoever made this mod for FM had me in mind, because people often asked why I don't use the 3D engine. Oh, Enrique hits the crossbar. But what I was going to say is, people ask, why don't I use the 3D match engine more in commentaries? The reason being, it's hard to see the balls. So this brighter ball mod does mean that it's easier to see, and hopefully you guys can see it okay in this quality. So yeah, we're looking good in this first half. 35 minutes in, we're in complete control of the game. We are 1-0 up. One more before half-time would be nice, however. It isn't looking likely. I think Payrod came from Lyon. Why am I saying Lyon? I'm saying it like I'm French. I should just say Lyon. Yeah, he did come from Lyon. So he's playing against his former club. Hopefully you can do something a little bit more in the second half. Good to see the Alfredo kind of players linking up there, the young Spaniard linking up with his more experienced counterpart up top. But 1-0 isn't a surefire result at the moment. One more would be good. We are away against Lyon. Of course, a win here would be a great little kind of result in the Champions League, as we've already played Atletico Madrid and won. And so if we win this, that would be kind of the two bigger clubs in our group, both beaten, and put us in a great position after just 2 games in the Champions League with a shout of getting through. And we've got a chance here. Alfredo Senior. I'd put money on him to bury that there. Goes to the cheeky dink. Couldn't quite get it to drop in, and unfortunately for us it hasn't worked out. But building from the back again here. Nazarov, the wing back. We're working the space really nicely here. You can see we've got loads of options on the final man. And Alfredo Senior, what are you doing, son? Why trip him up there? Really? Silly foul. 52 minutes in, both our strikers are booked, so I'm actually going to do a little bit of an odd move here. I'm actually going to sub off both our strikers. Neither of them are having great games, although Alfredo Senior did get the assist. Hubner and Lee Wright to come on. Hubner is the young German lad who came in for, I think it was around 15 million at the start of this year, and Lee Wright came in for 12 million from Liverpool, so, oh, okay, Lukaku's just scored for them to make it 1-1. So, even more so, this gamble and up to... What is Lukaku doing? He's diving head first. He thinks he's Superman. He's not. Dude, it's 1-1. Pipe down. We'll see how we get on here. Hubner and Wright to come on and hopefully make a difference for us. I'm going to set some instructions. I want to work ball into the box and get ball forward. And we're going to switch to balanced. Trying to play a little bit more fluid. We need a goal here. We're away from home and 1-1 wouldn't be a bad result. However, given our team's quality, I still feel as if we are good enough to get a goal here. And they've got a chance here, or maybe we've got one. Who knows? Nope, we've thrown it straight to them. Got a chance here. Lee Wright, he's been okay, MV is off. Okay, he's been booked for persistent fouling. So, there is not long left here. I'm literally going to be just chucking on Payrod as a poacher and then, just throwing men forward here. We've got, I guess, an outside chance if we can do something here. They're obviously a man down and we're playing well. So for that reason, I am going to just kind of mix up the tactics and go a little bit more attacking and kind of go for this now, because with 5 minutes left, I believe that our squad can do this. We've done this many a time before from this kind of game. Where we really go for it, I suppose, and really kind of pile pressure on. 5 minutes left. Can we roll the dice and go for something here? It's going to be tough, and it doesn't look like it's going to pay off for us here. 1-1 though. I'm happy with that result. Away from home, preserve our unbeaten record in the group stage. I believe this result will keep us tied, kind of top of the table with Lyon in our group. It would have been nice to beat them, because it now means that if we draw when we meet again and we're both to win the remainder of our games, that we would be behind them on goal difference unless we can really turn that around. Which, obviously, if you finish second in your Champions League group, theoretically it's not always the case, but you do usually get an easier tie. And actually looking at it, we've gone ahead of them. I don't know what that's on. Is that on... Why have I gone ahead of them there? Is it on head-to-head result? Does a draw away count as a good result? Oh, I don't know. Results between teams. Apparently an away draw is a good result between teams, so we actually go into a good position there. I'm not going to complain about that. I'll take that. £500,000 as well is nice. I think I mentioned last episode on the financial front that we were struggling. We're not in a terrible position. I mean, you look at it, we're minus 37 million, which looks bad. The actual club value, however, of our squad, and the club value is based off your stadium, your facilities, your staff and your players and their value. Our club value is 576 million, so if worse comes to worse and I had to sell say 30 million pounds worth of players, it wouldn't be that huge or a loss. Looking at player of the month in the Premier League, Duarte got it for Manchester City, Barasoin got it as well, and then Dennis Spurge got it for Southampton. I've never seen this guy before on my save. It's weird. When you get this far into an FM save, like, you lose track of players, especially with the regens and stuff that come through. In other news, though, Young Player of the Month has gone to Matty, the young German wonder kid, getting it for us. This guy's been superb. He's made a handful of appearances at centre-back and he's done his job there. And we're also seeing Abaga get a good little recognition for his efforts, the young 18-year-old who came in this season from Real Madrid for 15 million, getting runner-up in that award. So 2 young players of the month is good to see. Not on the player of the month, which is slightly odd. And now we have 2 days until our next game, which is against Aston Villa, and then I believe we're going to have an international break. So hopefully Cheat Engine allows me to plough through this with the speed hack on for you. I know not everyone's a massive fan of having the speed hack on, especially during match days. It can get a little bit confusing. I have tinkered with the settings since the previous video when I used it, so hopefully it's bearable with you guys. Let me know. It looks fine to me. That you don't really notice it other than the kind of animations and stuff being slightly sped up in some situations. So yeah, Villa today is going to be a tricky one. I'm going to rotate the squad a little. Obviously, Champions League football does catch up with your squad fairly quickly, and you do have to kind of rotate the squad around in order to maintain fitness amongst your ranks. I'm going to hopefully give Rico Francis a game as well against his former club. He's actually an Aston Villa fan, so it'd be cool if we could get him to play against them. The young 19-year-old, I'm trying to give this guy as much first-team football as I can. He's been a great little player for us. He's made his first appearance for England at the age of 18. He's just turned 19. He's a really tidy little anchor man. Some really nice stats all around the board. His mentals and his physicals are superb. Technically, not the most gifted player, but he can tackle. He has some technique. You can't argue with it. He really is a class act for kind of the price that we got him for. I'm going to do a tiny little bit of rotation here as well. Just looking at the fitness levels, you can see a few players struggling a little bit for fitness. Payrod being one of them, so we'll do a little bit of moving around. We'll bring on Lee Wright, the young English lad, and then drop Alfredo Senior into centre attack in mid. But all in all, the squad's looking fairly fit. Rico Francis isn't 100% there, but we'll take a risk on him. He's not a crucial first-team player. He is on his way back from injury, so that's why he's struggling for fitness. I'm also going to take off Nazarov and Luke Shaw and just give them a little bit of a kind of a rest. I'm going to be playing Ranjic and Prest. I've got to be honest, neither of my backup wing-backs particularly impressed me. I mean, here we have Ranjic, who's not a bad player, but he's nothing special. And then we also have Prest here. These two guys, they do the job as backup wing-backs. Against a team like Aston Villa, I expect them to be more than kind of up for the challenge. So hopefully we can do well here against Villa. It's going to be a tricky game. I can't recognise any of their players here. Unless Poulsen, are you a real player? No, you're not. You're a regen. Yeah, it's getting to that stage in the save now where the majority of the players are regens, which, I mean, it's not really surprising. I'm now in, is it 2026? So we are 14 years in the future, so 16-year-olds are now 30. Players like Luke Shaw is now 31. Obviously, he plays for us. He's slightly on the decline now. But he still has a job he can offer for the club. But there's kind of a lack of real players now in the save, which in any normal circumstances might kind of slightly put me off a save. But honestly, with this save, and I've said this a lot on Twitter and stuff, cheeky plug there, go follow me on Twitter if you don't. But I've said this on Twitter a lot. I love this save so much. This is probably my favourite save in 10 years of playing FM. In fact, 11 years as of FM14. It's been my favourite save by far. I think being able to share it with you guys and really have kind of almost fans of the series. I don't like saying people are fans of me, but I feel as if, and I talked to my friend Ben about this, I like to make it feel as if every viewer is a season ticket holder, which sounds really kind of nerdy, I suppose, but you guys might understand what I mean. If you're into this save, you probably do feel like a fan of the team and a bit like a season ticket holder, and that's the kind of feeling I like to give. And knowing that you guys are watching and enjoying the videos leaves me very happy as kind of an FM player. And amongst my blabbering on there, we did get a goal lead. João Jose grabbing the goal for us. I didn't even react to it. Came from a nice little counter attack there. But yeah, just a quick thank you to you guys for your support. This save, honestly, it's insane. I don't think there's many FM saves that I have that can compete with this. It really has been one hell of a journey, and there's been some real highlights along the way. But we do have a set piece here. I don't want to miss another goal. Roger, the French centre-back, getting the goal for us. He is a fantastic little youngster. Him and Matty are certainly two centre-backs who I want to get bedded into the first team, but with Tanguy Horn, Gauthier and Alfredo Jr. kind of being my three first-choice centre-backs, Matty and Roger are really going to have to kind of fight for their spots, which is a good thing. I think competition, 5 centre-backs competing for 3 spots is about right. It's a tricky one, squad balance, because you never really know how many players to have, but I like to aim to have 3 goalkeepers and 22 outfield players, so taking a squad size to 25. On this save, because I have focused so much on youth and I have a lot of young players who I promote through the reserves and kind of players who play in the first team who are a bit younger, who I give a run out occasionally. I think I have slightly more than 22. We make it 3-0 there. We're enjoying this now. Looking at the stats, we're dominating. Aston Villa have had 1 shot on goal all game, and we're looking very good for our lead here. Going to make a sub, in fact, before someone scores and I sub him off. Going to take off Rico Francis because he is struggling for fitness, and we're also going to bring on Hubner for Lee Wright, and I'm going to bring on Matty for a little bit of a run out in replacement of Tanguy Horn. We're 3-0 up here. Even if we were to concede off this highlight, I'd be confident in the subs that I'm making being able to hold their own and making sure we don't end up slipping up horrifically. We are still on our unbeaten run as well. It's now over 50 Premier League games, obviously. Last season we went unbeaten, and it was a really weird unbeaten season because of all the draws we had. So far this season we've already beaten the likes of Arsenal and drawn away against Manchester United, which is debatably the hardest fixture of the year. There's still a lot of hard ones left to get through. But at the moment we're 50 games and going strong. I don't want to kind of murmur the possibility and kind of hint at the possibility of a back-to-back invincible season, because I don't think it's ever been done in FM. It probably has been, but I've certainly never done it. I've never done one season. So for the run to continue how it has, and just to set the new Premier League record and obviously surpass Arsenal's unbeaten record from when they went on their season-long unbeaten run, is crazy. And who knows, maybe we can keep it going. We're 4-0 up here. Pereira grabbed a goal, and then, oh, okay, it's 5. I'm losing count. It doesn't even matter. I made some changes. 5-0 up, absolutely dominant. Easily winning this game now. Really highlights how strong we are in this league. The fact that we can come to a club like Aston Villa, who, they're not a bad team, coming away to us at Gig Lane, and we're able to win 5-0, and it might even be 6 at the rate we're going. Hubner buries it. Wow. The sub comes on, the young German, 6-0, getting slightly embarrassing for Villa now here. But great performance by our players. We've not dominated the ball, and maybe chance for one more. I don't think so. That should be it. I think the ref is just going to be merciful here and blow the final whistle at 6-0. Wow. It was comprehensive, I suppose. It was a good little win for us. João Jose getting man of the match, getting 2 goals and 2 assists. Alfredo Senior getting 2 assists. Really top performance by the entire squad. Good team performance all the way around. And that performance actually sees us go top of the league. Wow. That's pretty insane stuff there. As I said, João Jose getting man of the match. We didn't actually dominate possession massively in that game, but what we did do was perform really well as a squad. And that result, I think, is going to see us go top of the league. Looking at the league table here, in fact, we're 1 goal behind Man City on goal difference, so we're not quite there yet, but we are tied at the top of the table. Only conceded 6 goals in 6, which is a fairly decent defensive record. So far we've played 6, won 5 and drawn 1. A draw, of course, away against Manchester United, which was a fine result. So, yeah, that's not too shabby at all. Next game coming up is going to be Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're currently 18th in the league. They came up last year. They are struggling a little. this season, so hopefully we can get a result there. And then we're going to round up today's episode with the Panathinaikos game, but in between we have got an international break, so got a little bit of rambling time, I suppose. Martinez here, a young Argentine who I'm looking to get a contract and permit for. He's just got a nice little bit of potential. He's coming in off a compensation if he gets his work permit, so I'm only paying £1.2 million for him. And like many of the young players I've brought in on this save, and you guys are all too familiar with, sometimes I bring in players who aren't ever going to play in my first team. I don't think Martinez is ever going to be kind of the world beater that my squad needs now, but certainly I can sell him on for a handy little profit. And I mean, for example, if a player comes in on £10,000 a week and you pay £1 million for him, and he stays at the club for 5 years on £10,000 a week, that means in the 5 years he's going to cost you about £2.5 million. And then obviously a £1 million fee. So as long as you can sell him for over £3.5 million, you're guaranteed to make a profit off him. And it doesn't always happen, and you wouldn't always keep a player on for 5 years, but that's a pretty large kind of, I guess, approximation for a time you'd keep a young player. But just as an example, it's a fine way to make profit. If I was to sell him for $5 million, I've made a little bit of money there I wouldn't have otherwise had, and that's including the contract as well. And that is one thing I encourage you to do when you bring in regens. Take calculated risks. Maybe this guy isn't going to be the world beater. Look at his wage. How much does he want? How much is he going to cost you a year to keep in the club? How much do you think you can sell him for? And even if he doesn't make it into the first team, there's a little bit of money there on the side. I think with FM, some of the best kind of FM players especially, and even in real life management, some of the best managers are the ones with business brains, the ones who know how to make their transfers, know who they want, know how to bring in a player and make him a little bit of a star and then sell him on for money. Not necessarily being a selling club, but just being prudent, being wise, being... I can't really put it any other way, you know. Just be smart with your money. It's a great way to make money in FM. I obviously did my finances video and people were still struggling. One of the best ways to make money in FM, it sounds obvious, is to sell on players. And if you're in a situation like I am with FC United and Manchester, where we are struggling a little bit financially, we are in a loss, but in terms of the actual club itself and the players and the value of the kind of assets of the club, we're in a really good position whereby I can sell on these players, and it's actually how I'm making the majority of my money now, because although I'm in the Premier League and there's lots of TV money and we won the league last year, so there's good prize money, we're still only ground sharing with Bury at the moment, which means I have a maximum attendance of 12,000 people. My matchday tickets aren't very expensive, so I don't make the same kind of money that other Premier League teams make from their stadiums, and so at times I have had to sell players on for money. There are players who I regret selling on, and players who I kind of brought this business mentality with and then sold them on for a bit of money. I've got a good example of one actually. I'll see if I can find him. He plays for Bayern Munich. You guys may remember him. His name's Jorak. He's a Czech Republican player. Well, I assume Bayern Munich are going to be here somewhere. Here they are, Bayern Munich. And then if I can find Jorak here, this guy, one of the best strikers in the world, worth £21 million. He's only 25. And where does he link him with FC United and Manchester? Well, I brought him in for £7.25 million. And during his younger years, he was loaned out and he never really broke into my first team. And I sold him a year and a half after he came for £14.5 million. So I actually made a nice little bit of money there. And this is a great example of where the business side of things doesn't work out, because he's now gone on to be Bayern Munich's top player. Worth £21 million, Czech Republic, kind of one of the best Czech Republican strikers ever, maybe even eclipsing Milan Baros. But a fine example of where my business idea and the fact that I was bringing in a player and then selling him on for money thinking it was good can backfire. It's not the only exception I can think of in my time playing FM where I've brought in a player and sold them on and made a loss or missed out on a big player. It happens. It's like anything. You look at examples of team kind of players been released. Manchester United, when they released was it PK, or they sold PK to Barcelona on the cheap, I mean, look at PK now. He got told by Manchester United he was never going to be in their first team. He went to Barcelona, he worked hard, he matured, he married Shakira, and he's probably one of the best centre-backs even now in La Liga. So, I mean, that says it all. Sometimes even Alex Ferguson makes mistakes. So, it's one of those things, but certainly selling players is one of the best ways to make money in FM, and if you can do it and if you can get in the habit of kind of putting on a business brain to management, it is certainly worth the effort in the long run. So anyway, we are coming up to the Wolverhampton game now. I've just about managed to ramble for 2 full weeks whilst progressing. I enjoy the little chat sometimes. Very often when I do my FM videos, I don't really get a chance to talk a little bit more kind of about how I'm feeling about real life stuff. In fact, I'd never really talk about that. But it's nice to get a little bit of football chitter-chatter going in about making money and whatever. I am going to have more stuff like that coming up in the future. I'm in the process of planning a podcast. I don't want to say too much more than that because it is still early days, but I am very excited by the podcast possibilities. And stay tuned for more on that. I'll be doing an announcement sooner rather than later about what's going on with that. So there is something to look forward to in itself. I don't want to say too much more, but it's basically going to be a football podcast with kind of an underlying theme of Football Manager. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Let's get straight into today's game though. We are playing Wolverhampton Wanderers. Peyrod is our man to watch. Only 3 goals in 9 games for him from centre attacking mid. Looking at predictions, we are favourites by a long way. Peyrod has the ability to be a constant threat. Barbosa needs just 1 more goal to reach 50 league goals for FC United Manchester, so we might have to see if we can get him that today. It's going to be a tricky game here against Wolves. We are away, and there's always kind of I guess a little bit of an underlying doubt in the back of my mind that when you go away to a club like Wolves, a team struggling in the league, you've always got that possibility of slipping up. I mean, you just have to ask Man City going away to Cardiff about how that can happen. You know, a few set pieces and the game can turn on its head. And especially with our unbeaten run, it'd be kind of embarrassing for it to come to an end against Wolves here. A good little start for us here, though. Their centre-back booked already, which is good because it means now with kind of the attacking players we possess, we can really run at them. We've got a chance here as well. Wow. Gauffier, the centre-back, getting the header. We move up to top of the league, apparently. Great header there by the French centre-back. Ball comes into the box. 2 minutes in, we're ahead. Maybe I shouldn't have been so worried about slipping up. I don't think we'll get another 6-0. It would be pretty crazy to get back-to-back 6-0s, although 4 minutes in, we're on the attack again. Peyrod and João Jose getting in each other's ways, but we'll let them off here. It's raining at the moment. I don't think that has a massive kind of bearing on how well your players play it along the ground, but it looks like we're moving the ball around really nicely here. Wolves struggling to touch the ball. Peyrod with options left and right, patiently waiting for that opening. You can see the players moving really nicely off the ball with our formation and kind of the wandering style. And wow, Luke Shaw there, the left back, on his right foot, pushing right up, adding the width to the side. Wandered a bit, cut inside, boom, 2-0. Can't argue with it. Looking at the stats, all over Wolves at the moment in terms of stats. Gauffier's taken a knock. I'm going to be safe here. I'm going to just take him off. We'll bring on Alexander Roger, the French counterpart, for a run out. He'll come on. When your player takes a knock and you're 2-0 up, it's a bit silly to take a risk, especially with, as I said, in my situation where I have 3 centre-backs, positions kind of up for grabs, and I have 4 or 5 really world-class centre-backs. It's nice to have that level of competition, but opportunities when you can. It's nice to be able to rotate the squad to really keep everyone happy and ensure that everyone's getting enough first-team football to develop. So at the moment, we're playing very well. Just going to tell the guys to keep on going. It's pretty simple. We're doing a great job at the moment. This half, I want us to work the ball into the box a little bit more and try and create a few more opportunities. You can see we've only had 4 shots on target from 11, which isn't the best ratio in the world. And by shouting, doing the shout, work the ball into the box, hopefully we can have a few more opportunities within their area, try and craft open an opportunity. So yeah, that's a useful little shout. It doesn't always work, as in this instance it hasn't, which is unfortunate, but one of those things. I'm going to do a double sub with the attackers again. I mean, it's a weird situation because in terms of strikers, we have Peyrod, Barbosa, Alfredo Senior, Hubner, Lee Wright, and João Jose. 6 kind of first choice strikers, and I guess if you remove Peyrard from the mix because he plays centre attack in mid, there's still 5 centre forwards challenging for 2 spots, and so I do try to rotate the squad. And we have a little bit of worry now. Wolves have grabbed a goal back, and now suddenly I'm a little bit on edge here. They've only had 1 shot on goal, and I'm hoping we can see it out, and it does look like we are going to do so here. Final bit of ball in their box. Nothing going to come from it. I think this corner is just going to mark the end of the game. 2-1, not quite as convincing as the 6-0 that we got against Aston Villa. But at the end of the day, 3 points on the board is superb. But it's a game like this that last year we may well have drawn, and this year we're winning. And it makes a big difference for us in terms of the league table. Other results going on here, no real shocks. Villa drawing with Liverpool. And other than that, pretty standard results across the board, what you'd expect. QPR have been a bit of a dark horse this year in the league. If I show you last season, the top half of the table was pretty... Where is last season? See, I've got the speed boost on, so there we go. So we're on the right table now. I've got the speed boost on, so when I click it, speeds everything up. But you can see last season, Man City and United finished behind us. Then it was Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Fairly standard pack behind us, and then Wolves. Whereas this year, and Tottenham falling somewhat off the pace. This year, it's been a little bit different so far. Queen's Park Rangers and Southampton have really been putting on a little bit of pressure. Man U starting to struggle. It's a funny one, their squad, because they've got a fairly old squad, starting to age a lot as well. Neymar's 34 now, Zumar's 31, Romario's 32. You know, a lot of their players are really aging, and you can see them slowly dropping off. And even this year, it's kind of continued in the same trend. So they may well slip way off the pace at the rate they're going. Looking at the league table, Man City have a game in hand. I don't know if that's 1 or 2 games in hand. We'll go forward another day, and hopefully the table updates. They might have a game in hand on us, or maybe 2 games in hand. I'm not sure. Obviously, with the European fixtures going on, the European Super Cup and all that stuff in the Premier League especially, and I don't know what it's like in other leagues actually, but it takes a while for all the teams to have kind of played an equal amount of games. And I have a worrying message to attend to. Peyrard has concerned he wants an improvement on his contract. You want £87,000 a week. You're on 40,000 at the moment. If I go 80,000, I'm going to give his agent a lot of money and then try and get his kind of wage down to 60. This is a risk. Oh dear. How long's left on his contract? 4 years. Okay, we should be okay. I may have botched that up. I may well have botched up Peyrard there. I didn't think that was that unreasonable. Usually with these kind of contract offers, especially if a player comes in, like in that situation, he has 4 years left on his current deal and he wants an improvement. I don't like to give them a new contract immediately. With it being Peyrard, I thought, well, I'll offer him a new contract and see how it goes. Obviously, I didn't think the offer was that unreasonable, but his agent has said otherwise. What I'll probably do is I'll just wait it out now. Within a few seasons, he'll be happy to sign a new contract, so that's nothing too worrying. Usually in those situations when a player asks for a new contract, if you tell them there's time on your new deal, prove to me that you want more time or whatever it is. Basically tell them that they've got time on their deal. They'll usually either drop it immediately or, say something else, and then if you threaten them with their transfer list, usually they'll just accept your threat and leave and go, fair enough, I don't want to leave the club, so I'll stay. Just a weird one of those things, I suppose. Little tip, not the easiest tip that I can explain without showing you guys. Looking at squad fitness, Peyrard struggling a little. I'm going to take him off for this game. I'm not going to take a risk. We'll have him on the bench to come on. It's only Panathinaikos. I know that's famous last words there. But in reality, we should be beating a team like Panathinaikos fairly comfortably. And I'm fairly optimistic that with our squad we can do that. I'm going to be starting with Lee Wright and Hubner. And then on the bench we've got Barbosa, Alfredo Senior, João Jose and Peyrard, all who can come on. So some very attacking players there. Panathinaikos, they're a Greek team. They're not the strongest team in the world, and you'd hope that we can go out and do something against them. Alfredo Senior is our key player to look. 5 goals for us so far. Barbosa will make his 275th career appearance if brought on. Could be an interesting game here. A win here would be very good for us, and if Lyon were to beat Atletico Madrid, it would leave us 4 points clear of Atletico Madrid, kind of going into the last 3 games. It would mean that if we can get kind of one more win after this result, we'd be all but through, which would be great. You know, it would mean that I might be able to rotate the squad a little bit more with the Champions League, kind of shift my focus onto the league more, maybe promote a few reserve team players from the kind of younger side and give them some European football experience. But for now, we've got to focus on the present. We've got to defend here against Panathinaikos. It was setting up with a standard 4-4-2, and wow, they've taken the lead there. Morphis getting a great goal for them. 11 minutes in, top corner finish. Keeper really didn't stand a chance there, and it was just clinical. Looking at the stats though, 74% of possession in our favour. I guess you'd hope that we can do something with that now. That's a huge percentage to have away from home in Europe. Piling on the pressure as well. We've got a chance here from this set piece. 73%. I thought I misread that to begin with. That's pretty insane stuff. If we can dictate the tempo and really make Panathinaikos kind of chase us, they'll get worn down a lot quicker, and hopefully we can find a little bit more space on what looks like a fairly big pitch, and without kind of elaborate formation that's very spread out. I'm more than hopeful that our players can do a job for us here, but Panathinaikos maybe with a counter-attack. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, as they are running at us, and we need to defend this now. Oh, okay. Panic over. Looks like we are piling on the pressure still 70-odd% possession in our favour. Nazarov, the wing-back, to whipping the ball, hits the woodwork and goes out. That happens so much in FM. So many crosses do that. That's an interesting thing. FM14, obviously, the new match engine's been announced. What I'd really like to see kind of improved is a removing of repetition in the match engine. The stuff that happens again and again and again at an unrealistic kind of rate. Stuff like when the keeper gets the ball at the edge of his area, dribbles out and then just kicks it straight to their attacker, or when crosses hit the crossbar. You know, the stuff that always happens in FM. And although the match engine on FM14 doesn't look totally revolutionary, it looks like it's going to add some nice new animations to the game, and hopefully that just stops the repetitive feel that this game sometimes has. And as I say that, what a goal. Wright and Hubner linking up there, the young German and the Englishman, both new transfers at the club. I decided I wanted to add some firepower at the start of the season. Those two guys coming good for us there and forming a little partnership. We've been the better team in every department. It's just a matter of time. I thought I'd say I'm pleased with how things are going, and everyone reacted badly. Right, let's just run away. Let's just, that didn't happen. Sometimes with team talks, I'm a little bit sceptical. I think the scripting. I'm going to blame scripting. I don't think there is scripting, but it sounds like a great excuse for getting it wrong in that instance. But looking at the moment, 1-1 really wouldn't be an acceptable result from the position we're in here. We've been by far the better team, superior to them in every way. I'm actually going to make some changes here and just go to balanced style, and then I'm going to make a few changes. I'm going to bring on Rico Francis for Enrique in centre mid. Enrique's already booked. I'm also going to bring on Payrod for Alfredo Senior. Alfredo Senior is struggling a little bit for fitness. Bring on Payrod, the Frenchman. Needs a rest, but this is the kind of game where with 25 minutes left, throw him on. Fresh pair of legs. He's a superb athlete of a player, and he's got a chance here. Ball whipped in by Payrod. Cleared out, but hopefully we can get something of the second kind of chance of asking. Disappointing not to make more of kind of those set pieces. And now we're going all the way back. As long as Pavlenko doesn't kick it straight to their player, I'm fine with it. Whenever FM keepers get it in that situation, I'm always a little paranoid. But it looks like Rico Francis and Payrod are linking up well. Payrod, the sub, running at the defence. Bury that. There you go. Payrod, the Frenchman. He comes on. He does his job. This guy has single-handedly kind of changed around this club in the last few years. Still only 19 years of age and already 27 international goals for France. Seriously, one of the best regens I've ever seen. I know people say regens are overpowered. It wasn't until I met Payrod that I thought a regen could be overpowered, but I look at him and I do sometimes think it's a little bit unfair to have him on my team. He's that good of a player, and I mean, there are always regens, and regens always seem to develop better than real players. From my own experience in FM, there always seems to be far more kind of world-class regens than there are kind of world-class real players, quote-unquote. But Payrard is certainly doing the business for us here. Come on as a sub. We're 2-1 up now. He's got another chance, and he's hit the woodwork this time. That kind of just defeats everything I've said. He's not OP anymore, guys. He's not overpowered. I've changed my mind. Missing the sitter there. But no, he's got the ball again here. Well, knocking around the ball really nicely. Rico Francis getting a lot of the ball there, which is good to see the young kind of defensive midfielder getting on the ball. Payrard, Freds through Nazarov, the wing back, who will bury that to make it 3-1 against Panathinaikos. And that should round off what's been a really good team performance there. And that will be tied. So 3-1, great little result for us. Another game which we completely dominated. Played well, all in all. In terms of the group stage, we're 4 points ahead of Atletico Madrid because they did indeed lose to Lyon 3-0. So their goal difference is pretty much down the toilet. And it means that if we win our next game in the Champions League, we should be all but up, which is good to see. So yeah, that was just... I think I'm going to cut off the episode here. It's fairly late anyway. I don't want to keep everyone up in my house. But I wanted to do a little series kind of reintroduction. It's been a while since the Road to Glory kind of kicked on. When I was away on holiday, I scheduled the Crystal Palace series and the Pentagon Challenge episodes to go up. I didn't have any chance to record any of the Road to Glory stuff, which is why you're seeing it today. I wanted to do something a little bit special to make it up to you guys. Hopefully this has done so. If you've enjoyed the video, remember to give it a like. Let me know, guys, that you are excited and happy to see this series back on my channel. Yeah, I'm happy to have this series back. I do love this save. It's one of these saves I can just open at any point and feel pretty relaxed about it all. I think the next episode will be the Manchester City game, which will be an interesting one. We are at home against them. It's looking like they could be our big kind of promotion rivals this year. Crystal Palace, QPR, and Chelsea are still within contention, as to are Southampton, and a few other teams are in with a sniff. But looking at the table, really, you'd hope that from this situation we can continue to push up the table. Obviously 7 games in, still unbeaten, but Manchester City will be a tough test next game. So yeah, guys, as I've already said, give the video a like if you enjoyed. Hopefully you guys are glad that the Pentagon Challenge is the Road to Glory is back. God, that's blasphemy, getting my series muddled up. Someone's going to be leaving angry messages in the comments about how dare I get them muddled up. Just a thank you, guys. Thank you for sticking with the channel whilst I was away on holiday. If you've missed it, the FM14 stuff that I did, go over to my channel, check it out. It's all very useful. Keep an eye on your sub box later today for another FM14 daily news update. And other than that, guys, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.